Hello and welcome. Thank you for listening. My name is Sarah Baumert. I'm a yoga teacher, Feldenkrais practitioner, and host of the Sarah B. Yoga podcast. The Sarah B. Yoga podcast and my practice, Body Matter, is an interdisciplinary learning space where we explore the many ways that movement can help facilitate body acceptance and awareness, reduce pain and stress, regulate the nervous system, and build strength and ease. My teaching plays with the synthesis of Feldenkrais awareness through movement lessons, traditional yoga asana, creative imagery, breathing exercises, self-massage, and a compassionate mindset to help you feel a greater sense of ease and comfort in yourself. Sarah B. Yoga and Body Matter have a lot of other program offerings. These podcasts are just a taste of my teaching. Each week I teach a range of online classes, including a gentle yoga class, a level 2 class for more advanced students, and Feldenkrais classes with monthly themes, anatomy lessons, and Q&A sessions for more in-depth study. I have 2 new online series offerings for the fall. A Feldenkrais series titled Coming to Your Senses, an exploration of the spaces of the eyes, the mouth, jaw, ears, vocal and breathing apparatus. And my second course, Wakeful Body, the blending of yoga and Feldenkrais on Monday nights. As one student recently described Monday nights, that felt like I just gave myself a massage. So these fall classes will be a continuation of some fan favorite stretching sequences that incorporate bolsters and other props to enhance the poses. There is still plenty of time to join these courses live or via the course recordings. You can find more information about these offerings in the show notes. Okay, on to today's episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Hello, welcome to episode 46 of Sarah B's Yoga Podcast. I'm Sarah Baumert, your host and teacher. I teach a slow-flowing alignment-based practice, but today's practice is actually a meditation podcast. This meditation came out of a class that I taught at Harvard called Yoga for Pain and Injury, and it's inspired by some of the writings by Kelly McGonigal. You can find some useful notes about today's meditation at the show notes found on sarahbyoga.com. The meditation will last around 30 minutes. So I encourage you right away to start to find a comfortable position. If you're managing any physical pain, find a position that is restful, that you can hold comfortably for around 30 minutes. My suggestion is a supported Shavasana pose with a bolster under the thighs and or a small fold of a blanket under your head. You can cover your eyes with an eye pillow or cover your body with a blanket for warmth. And if you're choosing to sit, be sure that your hips are lifted and you're able to feel the weight right in the middle of the sitting bones. So take this time right now to set your position up while I begin to explain some of our practice today. And again, it's your choice how you decide to place your body, just making sure that you're comfortable. So we'll move through 3 sets of a meditation practice called Pratipaksha Bhavana. It's translated as moving the mind in the opposite direction or choosing an opposite perspective. Yogis have long used meditation to alter pain and stress, but only recently has research looked into how all of this works. Stress and pain focus your attention on what is wrong, and continued attention to these sensations, these thoughts, these emotions keeps you in a state of suffering, focusing on that pain. So meditation can interrupt a stress or a pain response by shifting your attention. So today we'll practice how to interrupt negative mental states and replace them with positive states. This will in turn train your mind for times when you're feeling physical or mental discomfort. So as you continue to settle into your comfortable position, make any more small adjustments that you need to. And throughout the practice, feel free to make those adjustments if something does become uncomfortable. We'll start with a meditation of opposite sensations, and from there we'll move on to a meditation to help transform any feelings of pain, of suffering in the body. So bring your awareness to your breathing. Notice if you're breathing in and out through the nose or through the mouth. And see if you can shift it to just nostril breathing. Unless for some reason you have a stuffy nose or that's not possible. And soften your mouth. Soften any grip that you have in your mouth, your teeth, your jaw. Let your eyes be soft and relaxed. Eyes are closed or even covered with an eye pillow. Feeling the breath very smoothly moving in through the nose, expanding across the chest, expanding lungs, and expanding belly. Exhaling slowly, just feeling the whole body release, relax into the support of the floor on your exhale. Remembering that your breath, through any yoga practice, but particularly in a meditation practice, is your anchor. It's always there, so if you do catch your mind wandering, see if you can pull it in, pull the attention right back to your breathing. A slightly longer and slower exhale is going to start to calm the nervous system. So without any force, see if you can lengthen your exhale 1 or 2 more counts so that your exhalation is slightly longer than your inhale. You may even be practicing with a very small, very quiet Ujjayi breath, where the back of the throat gently closes off so there's a little more narrow of a hallway for the air to move in and out. Just a reminder, that subtle sound that you can hear, another reminder of your breath. That's optional. Take a moment to wish for yourself. May I be free of this pain. May I be free of this suffering. And even if you are not working with a really direct physical pain, there are different patterns that we have, such as chronic worrying, self-criticism, anger, loneliness, that may intensify or reinforce a feeling of pain. So just in your mind, say to yourself, may I be free of this pain. may I be free of this suffering. And take a moment even to acknowledge that however this pain has served you, you are ready to be free of any unnecessary pain and suffering. So we'll move into Pratipaksha Bhavana. I'll explain the directions first. So we'll notice or even imagine a specific sensation that I'll tell you. And then we'll consciously shift our attention to its opposite. We'll shift back and forth several times, developing your ability to welcome both experiences, but also as a way for you to be able to choose the form of your experience in that moment. So this will demonstrate the strength of your mind's attention, the strength, the power of your imagination. This is important to practice when you're not at your lowest, when you're not in a really, really difficult pain place, because it will help strengthen this part of your mind and develop the comfort and the skill with the meditation before you need it the most. If you happen to be in a place where you are feeling pain, you can definitely still practice this. So as you continue to breathe here, notice what sensation or thought or even emotion is most present. Because we've been feeling our breath, that may be it. Welcome whatever sensation it is as you become aware of it. And welcome this sensation even if it happens to be the sensation that you wish to transform. Noticing that sensation. And now begin to focus your attention on a set of opposites. So we will start with the opposites of stillness and movement. Let's work with stillness first. So is there any part in your body that currently feels stillness? Bring your attention there. It might be fingers, it might be the back of the body still resting on the floor. Just really continue to, with the eyes closed, keep your attention on what feels still. Ask yourself, what does it feel like? Where do I feel it? And if this state of stillness is not currently present, bring to mind a memory of that feeling. From here, we'll switch to its opposite state, a state of movement. So where in your body, is there any part in your body that currently feels movement? Your breath is a very obvious source of movement. But you may also feel movement in your eyes with your eyes closed. You might feel movement in your brain with your thoughts. You may feel the pulse inside of you, somewhere around your belly or at your fingertips. So feeling, where in your body are you attracted to, where you feel movement? What does this movement feel like? And if you don't feel like this state of movement is currently present, try to bring to mind a memory of that feeling. So after feeling that state, switch to its opposite again, moving your awareness into stillness. Seeing if you can just quickly shift. Notice a place, part in your body that feels stillness. Try not to create a story about it or get too involved in that transition, just feeling stillness. Good, and shifting again to the opposite, feeling movement. Training your mind to be able to shift its attention to feel movement happening in the body. And now, can you feel both stillness and movement in your body at the same time? Is that possible to feel both sensations? Notice if there's one sensation that's much easier to feel, that's easier for you to keep your attention on. And then we'll take about 1 minute to shift back and forth. So it may just be a few breaths that you focus on stillness, and then a few breaths and you focus on movement. This practice displays how you can be in control of determining your experience. It helps you to discover that your mind is a very safe place. take a full breath in and a long breath out. And just kind of wash those two opposites away. Shift your position at all if you need to, making yourself more comfortable. And we'll do the same thing with two new opposites. So the first state will be a feeling of heaviness. So I like to bring the attention to the back of the body if I'm laying down, part of the body that's close to the earth. Almost imagining that the body is full of sand that's settling down towards the floor. You feel the mass, the weight of your body. Seeing if there's any place in your body that very naturally feels this state of heaviness. What does that feel like to you? And where do you feel heaviness? Continuing to breathe, focusing on a state of heaviness in the body. And switching your attention now to the feeling of lightness in your body. Ask yourself, is there any part of my body that currently feels lightness? This sense of floating, a lightness in the front of the body. A lightness that comes with your breath. So what does this feel like? And where in particular do you feel it? Focusing on those areas in your body that feel the lightness the most. And now take a minute to shift your attention back to heaviness, spending a few breaths in this state of heaviness, and then shifting back to lightness. So a minute or so to shift back and forth, training your mind's attention. So after exploring these opposites, just rest with an awareness of your body. Notice how your body feels and what you are naturally drawn to. From here, we are going to shift into the practice of choosing healing in times of pain. So it will be similar to this opposite practice, but a little bit more focused on whatever it is that you are working with. Start by allowing yourself to feel the state that you want to transform. Notice any sensations or thoughts that come up to you. And try not to get too caught up in a story. If you are managing pain or a strain or a stress in your body, it's likely that it comes with a story. So without getting caught up in that, just feel the state, even naming it or finding a word for it. And then begin to look for a sense of acceptance, even of welcoming what it is that you're feeling that is uncomfortable. And again, if you're not feeling a physical pain, it's possible that some other ailment, chronic worry, anger, different emotions, stress. And when you feel like you are no longer resisting or trying to block it out, then you're ready for this next stage. So take a few breaths really to focus on welcoming this state, even if it is painful. And then ask yourself, if I were free of this pain, what would I be feeling or thinking instead? A lot of mental energy is spent on thinking about pain when we have it. So if I were free of this pain, what would I be feeling or thinking instead? What state of mind and body would heal what I'm feeling right now? And I'd like for you to come up with a word for that. And we'll call this the healing opposite. So if you are in pain, it could be comfort as the healing opposite, or relief, or acceptance. But you come up with a word that works for you. And remember that word. Then ask yourself, how do you create this opposite? Whatever that word is, the healing opposite, comfort, warmth, energy, acceptance, relief, whatever you chose. And bring to mind a memory of how this opposite state feels. This feeling of comfort, how does it feel? can you bring to mind a memory of how it feels? If you're having a hard time with that, you could use an image, a person, a mantra, a sound to help feel this comforting, healing opposite. Allow yourself to feel the bodily sensations that go along with this state of mind, feeling it washing over your mind and your body. Coming to your breathing if this is difficult. And after a few breaths with your attention on your breath, see if you can return to your healing, comforting opposite sensation. Now comes the time where we switch back and forth. So from this place of comfort that you're trying to create, we will switch back to the opposite sensation, the unpleasant or painful sensation, that state that you wanted to transform. As you do that, remember that you are in control, and at any time you can switch back to the healing opposite. Noticing the unpleasant opposite. Is it easier for you to bring your attention to it? Is it less painful now? Maybe it's the same. Just focus your attention there, remembering that you're welcoming it. You're acknowledging that it's there. You're creating a sense of acceptance for that sensation. And then see if you can quickly switch to its healing opposite, comfort, relief, whatever word you chose. And at this point, if you'd like to continue with this meditation with these two opposites, the uncomfortable or pain sensation versus its healing opposite, continue switching back and forth, taking 30 seconds to a minute with each state. You could even just turn the podcast off and continue lying where you're at, resting, training the mind, practicing, so that when you're in those times kind of off the mat, off of the meditation cushion in life, when you need your attention to be somewhere else, you can then use this practice, this training, the strength that you've built And to formally end, finish the meditation by letting your attention come back to how you feel in this very moment. Acknowledge that you have the strength to handle all sensations, all thoughts and emotions, and the freedom to choose healing. One of the most important ways meditation creates a lasting change is by helping you to discover the habits of your own mind that are contributing to this pain, the stress, the suffering. And with each round of this practice, if you continue to come to this podcast and listen to it multiple times, with each round of this practice, the mind and the body become shaped more in the direction of responding to future experiences with positive thoughts. So my hope is that this meditation will help reveal the freedom you have to choose one thought over another. It puts your wisdom, your joy in charge of your experiences. So slowly start to, if you're lying down, wiggle your fingers and your toes, roll your head side to side. Use your hands to help you roll to one side, coming to a fetal position. And then using your hands to push yourself all the way up to a comfortable seat. And take your palms together, keeping the eyes closed. And may all beings find happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be parted from freedom's true joy. May all beings dwell in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Take a breath in and exhale. Namaste. If you're interested in reading a little bit more about this practice and learning about different sets of opposites that are ideas that you could use for this meditation, there are a number of opposites that are posted along with show notes on this blog post of the podcast on my website, Sarah B. Yoga. I've included many different opposites as well as some directions for you. I hope this is helpful for all of you. Namaste.
Are you enjoying this podcast? I've chosen to offer these audio recordings freely for over 15 years. I do this because research shows yoga, yoga nidra, and Feldenkrais to be valuable practices, those which I would like to share widely. Dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, has always been a pillar of my business. And more generally, dana is the inclination to give without expecting any form of repayment. It does, however, take a fair amount of time, effort, and cost to maintain and keep the podcasts available. If you feel you've benefited from what you've learned from these classes, then please do consider making a contribution towards the maintenance and upkeep of the classes. It will help ensure that I can continue to offer the podcast classes freely and keep generating new material. Give what you can, give what feels good. If it's too little, it won't feel good. If it's too much, it won't feel good. Links to support the show monetarily can be found in the show notes. And other ways to give include sharing the podcast with others, leaving a 5-star rating and review, or just sending me an email with how the classes have affected you. Thanks so much.